So, Geoff Hunt from Cordia.
That's right.
What does Cordia do?
Cordia is a network company. We're in broadcast engineering, broadcasting as in Freeview. Telecommunications, we've got the third largest network in the country. We've also got engineering and field services businesses, New Zealand, Australia, and a small operation in Thailand.
So, what does a Centre of Social Innovation mean to you, and what's Cordia's role?
Well, we're a foundation sponsor. If I tell you about the origins of the name Cordia, Cordia is from the Latin accordia, about harmonisation, about bringing people and technology together. So we're very big in broadband, particularly high-speed broadband. The issue that we see is not building the infrastructure, it's actually driving demand. And with the CSI, it's about finding social issues, solution providers and funders. And we think quite a lot of the solutions will involve broadband technology. So we see this as driving demand on broadband networks. It's about extracting value from the huge investment that is going into these networks, and at the same time solving a range of social problems. So it seems to be a pretty good combination of solving issues and using the infrastructure, and that's what this whole government initiative, I think, is about. We'd just like to see a lot more attention on the demand side and extracting the value from the investment.
So, what sort of social innovators and entrepreneurs, what sort of ideas are starting to come through that you're interested in?
Well, we're really interested in the whole range. So we think they'll be in education, they'll be in health in particular. An idea that gets talked about quite a lot is keeping aged people in their homes for as long as possible. So you can imagine the television screen becomes the face to the call centre. So instead of the care provider having to visit the elderly person once a day to check that everything's okay, it becomes more like a face-to-face call centre, and the care provider can then maybe go out just 2 or 3 times a week instead of 7 times a week. Then you put more sensors in the home, because people do best left in their own environment. Once they're institutionalised, it's sort of the beginning of the end.
Absolutely.
So that would be one example. Other examples we see, things that are really already been done, innovative uses of databases that bring together information on people and their medical conditions. So conditions can be tracked at an early age. Simple things for doctors, simple tests for doctors to do in their rooms that go in a database, and then medical treatment can be given for a condition very early in the cycle before it becomes a significant issue. So it takes cost out, improves lifestyle, and again, it's using technology as part of the solution.
So you think getting the intelligence around where the average New Zealander might be at in their life right now, and what education or medical help or other services they might need socially, is that kind of a major part of the future?
I think that's part of it. I mean, you hear all about the social networking. So social networking, and that seems to be primarily social networking. Let's now raise that networking to a level where it's actually enabling people to solve issues, have control of their lives, have control of their kids, or for children to the way they develop their education style. Some of my staff visited, I think it's called the Computer Club in South Auckland, which appears to be a fantastic innovation where kids in the neighbourhood can go and use the computers in a semi-structured environment that just enables them to be relevant into the digital future. If I contrast with my mother-in-law, I don't think she'd mind me saying, even though we've given her an Apple Mac to have in her home, trying to actually get her to use it is actually a huge challenge. So it's about keeping people technologically literate and able, and keeping that going all through their lives, I think, is going to become more and more important.
So Cordia is a relatively new entity, but a lot of it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, so it's got a history going back 40 years. We've been Cordia for the last 3.5 years. Prior to that, BCL is probably the name that rings most true. The immediate connection for people is we own and operate the Freeview platforms for television, digital television, delivery.
What sort of role does Freeview have, do you think, in the future of New Zealand in making sure we get possibly, I guess, a lot of public or public good content coming out? Is that part of its strategy?
Well, Cordia is the platform provider, and we've got space for more broadcasters to come onto both our satellite platform and the terrestrial platform. You've heard maybe TVNZ with the TiVo initiative, which is bringing broadband and television more closely together. I think that's a pretty interesting development. I think that the future is people choosing what they want to look at and when, not being controlled by the broadcast program. A stat I picked up last week is something like 60% of the prime time content in the US is available online. So if you miss it, just go online, play it at a time to suit.
So the future's going to be switching between either catching it on the broadcast or going and seeing it direct on demand.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And so what other sort of roles do you see for social innovation maybe inside the business, something like Cordia? Where does it kind of fit into the structure?
Yeah. Interesting. With the people we've been meeting with as a result of Justine's work, we've actually heard from other companies some of the things we're doing. We're quite keen to hook onto their ideas for the benefit of our company. So I think this community is going to have not only benefits for the greater community, but those who participate will generate benefits for their own companies from what they learn from what other companies are doing.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot for your time, Geoff.
Okay.
Cheers.